everybody, welcome to this week's Trimcraft Tuesday video. This week I am scrapbooking with first edition Gardenia and first edition Mariposa. Just thought the two paper pads go really nicely together, and I wanted to do sort of a natural, very butterfly heavy layout, and you'll see that it really is sooner or later. So the paper I'm using for my background is from Gardenia. I love it so much. I have said this a few times now. It is a textured green wood grain, and I love it. But I'm taking these strips. Those are from Mariposa, and I've cut them to about, I think the widest is about 3.25, and then the smallest one about half an inch smaller than that. And I'm just going to layer those up on top of each other, just distressing the edges here. I wanted a lot of texture on this layout, so yes, I'm just distressing all of those edges there before I just sort of layer them up like this. Now I'm only adding double-sided tape or adhesive just to the very center there. You may be thinking, that's not very much adhesive, but you will see why shortly. There is a method to my madness. Once I'd done the two though, I was like, this isn't quite right, I'm not loving it. So what I decided to do is make a slightly smaller strip as well. I think this one at its widest point is maybe 1.75 inches, and then again another ½ inch off that for the smaller strip. So a much smaller one this time, but doing the exact same thing to it, distressing out all the edges, only adhering it down in the very center like that. For adhering it down onto the page itself, I did use my T-square just to measure the exact center of the page rather than eyeballing it, because I just thought if that is off by even a teeny tiny bit, it's going to be quite noticeable. So that's why I just measured that exactly there, so it was in the dead center. The wider ones either side of it, I didn't measure those. I didn't think that was quite as important, but they're about 3/4 inch from the edge, roughly, I'd say. So then I went off and I ran that through the sewing machine. I'm just showing you that there. One of the first times I've used it on a layout. I've been wanting to use a sewing machine on a layout for years. I've finally got one set up and everything, so I just used it for obviously I've practiced with it, but this was my first proper time using it. You can see on my first stitching on the far right, not exactly a straight line, but I'm getting used to it. But yeah, I'm sorry I can't really show that on video. It's just the sewing machine is in a different room, and I can't really take all my lights and camera set up and everything to a different room just to do a little bit of stitching on a sewing machine. Anyways, with that done, I am just really pulling up at the edges of both layers there, just really ruffling and tearing them up again, adding lots and lots of texture to that. And then once that is done, I'm going to pull out these butterflies here. These are from Gardenia. They're pearlized or on a pearlescent paper. I'm pulling out a few of those. And then these ones are from Mariposa, so a couple of ones from Mariposa. And then I am going to fussy cut many butterflies, because yes, as I was saying before, it is a very butterfly heavy layout. So I took some time, can't tell you exactly how long, and just fussy cut many butterflies, put on my favourite podcast, just sort of chilled, did the fussy cutting. I know to some of you this is weird, but I genuinely enjoy fussy cutting. I find it quite relaxing, even if sometimes I do get cramp in my hand very shortly, but I still enjoy it quite a lot. But for those of you who don't, you know, there's other options like the Brother Scan and Cut that does the fussy cutting for you. But yeah, genuinely, I really do enjoy it. I know, it's very strange. Anyways, you can see my little pot there full of butterflies, and then I'm just going to start layering things up and assembling the layout. My photo is an old one of my little baby brother and myself when we were, I don't know, little. I forgot. I usually ask my mum when I do these ones to get the age, but I forgot. Let's just say clearly quite little. I think I was at nursery. I must have been at nursery because my school uniform was red and I'm wearing blue there. So yes, I would have been nursery age, and he's obviously very tiny, very cute. But I did just trim down the photo a little bit just because it was a standard photo size, like a 5x3 or something, or 5 foot, whatever it was. But I don't like standard photo sizes. I don't know what it is. They feel clunky to me, and I'm just not comfortable scrapbooking with them. So even just chopping them down by like 1/4 inch on each side just makes me feel better. I can't explain it. Yeah, standard photo sizes feel clunky to me. This is why I don't bother getting like a proper photo printer, because I wouldn't use it to its full potential. Anyways, I backed my photo, backed my photo with that beautiful green pearlescent paper from Gardenia, and then just added a couple of doilies to the back of that, just cut them up and just have a little bit sticking out either side of the photo. Then I measured exactly where the photo would go on the layout, made a pencil mark, and then put the foam tape down onto the layout rather than on the photo, because with all that ruffling up and stuff, it had to be spaced correctly with the foam to bring the photo up. So that's why I did it that way. And then here I am taking some gold metallic thread. It's like embroidery thread that you would use for cross stitch or paper stitching or whatever. I picked it up at a craft store, so it should be fairly easy to get hold of. But I don't like stitching with it because it's really, really difficult to stitch with. So I'm just cutting up bits of it and just sort of bundling it up in my hand and then gluing it onto the layout. Some bits under the photo, some bits straight on there. Do not worry, you will not see those ugly glue lumps. I am going to cover those up, but just adding a really nice texture. I haven't done this in ages and ages and ages, but I really, really like the effect, and I thought it was about time I did it again. So here I am, I'm just going to add butterflies on top of some of those. It helps keep the thread down and obviously also covers up those gluey lumps as well. And then here, I'm going to add all my butterflies. Many, 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 many butterflies. I have cut a lot of it out because it's me just doing the same thing over and over again. I'm using glue dots to adhere most of the butterflies, at least the ones that aren't helping keep down the thread as well. And in using the glue dots, it means I sort of bend the wings back a little bit, and then they're just stuck down in the center. Where I've got some of the ruffly bits as well, if I stuck the center of the butterfly like in between those, it helped the wings stand up as well. So that was a nice little effect I got going on there, like that butterfly I'm adding just there because of the ruffly bits. It helps keep up the wings. So I think that's all my butterflies down. I might add one or two more. For my title, I'm using these letter tiles. These are from the Trimcraft Be Happy collection. A bit of a blast from the past there. I don't know if you can still get these letter tiles from Be Happy because it's quite an old collection, but I think every Crafts a Pound had some Be Happy stuff, but I don't know if they had these or not. I will have a look. But I'm also bundling up more thread and putting that under those letter tiles as well. They are adhesive, but I'm adding more glue as well just to really help that bundly thread stick, because it wants to become unstuck, so you have to persuade it to stay where it's told to do so. And then I just added some butterflies. Some of them are like half butterflies, like when they're landed on a plant and their wings are folded. Some of those, so I added those around that title there. And then here I'm just adding some Tim Holtz clipping stickers. I just thought something else was needed on those panels I created just to break up the busyness of the butterflies. So just adding some lovely little phrases there. And then here come the pearls, because I love pearls. These are Simply Creative pearls. I've got the 10mm, the 6mm and the 3mm. I find the best place to get these is in store at the range. I can rarely link these because they seem to be quite hard to find online sometimes, but yes, in store at the range I find is the best place to get them. And I'm just sticking many of these down. This is a layout of many things, many pearls, many butterflies. I start with the biggest ones, so I put down all my 10mm ones down first. Most of them are going in that busy section up the middle with all the butterflies and the thread, but I am adding some just like around those tiny words and stuff I've put down. So yes, then I did the 6mm ones, and now I'm going to go in with the 3mm ones. It's just easiest to start with the biggest and then go down in size like that. And then once I've got all of my little ones down in that main section, a couple on the panels, I just decided, I just felt like it, to add a row of them up the sides of the layout. So I think I add 10 up the sides. So I've got a row of 10 at the bottom left, and then I'm going to do a row of 10 up the bottom right. I don't know, it's just an idea that popped into my head and I quite like it. And I think it just sort of helps frame the layout a little bit, because it's obviously such a busy one, and just little things like that help it to just ground it a little bit, I suppose. I said a little bit too many times there. I apologise. Anyways, here I am finishing off with some splatters of gold Heidi Spot Colour Shine, because gold was very much needed. Obviously I used the gold thread, so gold splatters were well required as well. And I'm adding a fair few of those because I do love me some splatters, and oh my goodness do they look gorgeous on that wood grain green background from Gardenia. Seriously, that paper and gold is just yummy. Anyways, there is my layout finished. Thank you so much for watching as always. In the description box will be links to stuff that I have used, as much as I can think to link. And then there's also, I've talked about this before, but my Amazon storefront. So if there's things like adhesives that I use a lot that aren't linked in the description box. They will be in my Amazon storefront. So if you're wondering about other things and bits and pieces that I might have used, my trimmer, my scissors, all that sort of stuff will be in that link. Anyway, that's enough advertising for me. Thank you so much for watching again. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments. And yeah, okay, I'm going. Bye bye.